Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with another new kind of video. A couple days ago, I had posted a video on YouTube and on my social media that was for one of my hobbies. It was the card game Argent Saga. It was my deck profile for the deck I used at regionals. I was honestly a little surprised, but the deck did really, the video did really well. So I thought I'd bring you guys another kind of deck profile. This time it's for a different card game that I play called Card Fight Vanguard. The cards for it have been out for a little while now, but I still get asked what my deck list looks like. So I figured I'd give you guys the profile. It's actually my list for my Dragonic Blademaster deck. So I hope you guys like the profile. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so we're going to start off with the grade zeros. So, first off is my starter. I play Blizzard Runner Undu. You could use any starter you want. They all pretty much do the same thing. When rode upon, you draw a card. I just use Undu because of the foil. Next, I play 4 heal triggers. I play Dragonic Blademaster. I'm just missing that one foil to have them all foil. Next, I play 4 Embodiment of Spirit Tar. Again, just a normal crit trigger. I'm just missing that one foil. I play 4 Vanguard Barré. Just your standard draw per guard. This is the first thing I play that some people don't. I play 2 Demonic Dragon Mage Rakshasa and 2 Red Gem Carbuncle. I went with 6 draw, 6 crit, because while this deck does have an insane amount of draw power, it still suffers from the fact that you need to see certain pieces. If you don't see certain pieces, then the deck doesn't function properly. Some people max out at 8 crit and only 4 draw because of perfect guards. I still think this deck needs the draw power, especially with Kagero since day 1. Every card really matters, so I maxed out on draw power. Next, I play 4 Flame of Hope Ammo. Flame of Hope Ammo, grade 1, 8k. During the battle that this unit boosted, it gains 3000 power. That 11k boost really helps hit numbers with some combination of cards, but its real value is the second effect. Auto. When your opponent's rear guard is retired during your turn, you may retire this card to draw a card and countercharge 1. Now that's just really good because it just rewards you for just playing Kagero. It replaces it. You may have to retire it, which you do lose the booster, but it replaces itself with another card, and the counter charge is just amazing. Because of Airmo, since V started, Kagero has not had a real problem with counter blasting. I mean, maybe a little bit in Overlord, but that's just good resource management. This deck, forget about it. You never worry about your counter blasts. Next, I play 4 Sable Dragnoot. Grade 1, 8k. He has an auto Vanguard skill. When his attack hits, you get to draw a card. And then he has an auto Rearguard skill. Then when one of your opponent's Rearguards is retired during your turn, you can retire him to draw another card. Like I said, I max out on draw power. These really are just meant to help you fish out your combo pieces. Next grade 1 is 4 Wyvern Strike Garn. Kagero has never really had a good dedicated booster. They've had a couple here and there, but like, even though the other grade 1s we have, you're gonna end up using them to draw anyway. Garen is a good, he just sits on the back and just swings for big. He has a continuous skill that says as long as your opponent has no rearguards, he gains 5k. So that puts him up to 13. So either he's a 13k booster or a 13k attacker. So he's good, and because he hits that 13, he can hit any size Vanguard. His second effect is when he boosts Wyvern Strike Doa and hits, you can counterblast 1 to draw a card and soul charge 1. That effect's really, really good because counterblast is not an issue in this deck. Because there's almost no cards that counterblast. There's I think maybe 3. And then you have Airmo to countercharge your damage. The deck needs Soul Charge because you do Soul Blast a lot. And, you know, the chance of getting grade 3s is just really nice because 2 out of the 3 grade 3s the deck runs, so we'll have to Soul Blast a grade 3. But the big thing is the draw. More cards, the better. On to grade 2s, I still play 4 Berserk Dragons. Berserk Dragon was probably the best grade 2 Kagero got starting off. Even now, it's still pretty arguably one of the best ones. Its skill is Vanguard, Rearguard when placed, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and retire it. And if this card is on the Vanguard circle, you get to draw a card. So no matter what, you get to kill something. And even if your opponent has no Rearguards when you ride it, it's still just another card to hand. Its second effect is Rearguard. When this unit attacks an opponent's Vanguard, if you have more Rearguards than your opponent, he gains 3,000 power. That bumping up to 13 means, again, he can hit any Vanguard by himself unboosted. And considering you're going to be using your boosters to draw cards, being able to hit by himself really helps. Force markers make him 23. But the ideal situation, if you're forced to go second and you have to ride, and riding Sable makes it not so bad. But opening up Sable, Airmo, and Berserk is just bonkers. You can ride Sable, boost with Airmo. You now have a 19k strength at their 8. So now they have to drop a 15k shield just to guard the attack. But if you get one trigger, you get through. Most times they don't even want to guard it. So now you get a free card off Sable. If they're silly enough to call a rear guard, you get to ride Berserk, draw a card, kill their rear guard, and then use Airmo to countercharge the damage you just used and draw another card. So that's just the ideal rides. It's silly. On to the next grade 2. I play 4 Wyvern Strike Doa. Doa is the card that Garen was talking about. Doa auto when placed on rearguard. Counterblast 1, search your deck for Wyvern Strike Garn and call it to the rearguard, and then shuffle your deck. It's a Counterblast 1 for a +1. That's beautiful in Kagero. It's a 9k, which is the only downside to it, because you are playing a Force Clan, but against Protect and Excel, it can hit by itself. So turn 2, you can ride Berserk, draw a card, call him, and just swing for the fences. His second effect is what starts to make him scary. It's auto. If your opponent has no rear guards, during his attack, they cannot guard with normal units. Now that sounds kind of meh on paper, but when you actually look at the cards and the combinations, it's silly. So, like I said, say you play him on your second turn and your opponent's doesn't have rear guards, he can now swing a 5k guard at their grade 2, and they have to drop trigger to guard him or not guard him. When he's being boosted by Garen, that's a 22k row. Sure, that's a trigger against a Protect and Excel, but against a Force Clan, that's a 10k guard that they now have to drop a trigger to guard or to not guard, and if they don't guard it, you get to draw cards. So it's just a really solid card, and it's good in any Kagero deck, not just Blademaster. Another grade 2 I play 2 Dragonic Burnout. Act once per turn, counterblast 1. Put a grade 2 or greater unit at the bottom of your deck, and choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Now, there's a couple reasons I run this card. The first is the deck's main retire engine are the grade 3s, but sometimes you just don't get the grade 3s off. So I want to be able to still retire rear guards just to make my opponent have to keep on playing cards. That's the reason I run Berserk. That's the reason I run him. And the fact is I can use him every turn. Another reason is this is a very combo-oriented deck, so you need certain pieces and to make sure you can keep on seeing them. So being able to send back Doas, my grade 3s, Garens, well, we can't send back Garen, but you get what I'm saying. You can send back your grade 2s, your grade 3s. You want to be able to keep riding and keep on getting force markers, stacking grade 3s into the soul, so that just helps with that. Another thing is, this deck does have a lot of draw power, so usually after resolving Blademaster at least twice, deck out becomes a serious problem, and he just helps mitigate that. Just those couple extra cards just to make sure you don't kill yourself. The last grade 2 I play is Dragon Armor Knight. When it attacks a Vanguard, if your opponent has 3 or less rear guards, he just gains 5k. I was gonna run 3 Burnouts, but honestly he's just been doing magic for me. He's good in the early game because he forces a 10k shield. He's good in the late game because he's 25 with a force marker. And he doesn't cost anything. He's literally just a big dude for playing Kagero. And I tried it with three Burnouts, and sometimes that base 10k with no power boost just slows you down. Almost every other card in the deck gains a power boost or has some kind of other utility. Sure, he can retire a Rhaegar, but if he doesn't retire, if he's not being used to retire a Rhaegar, he's just a vanilla 10k. On to the grade 3s. I actually play 10 grade 3s, which is, again, where things get weird. I play 2 Shine Bright Each Dragon. Grade 3 has a force marker. Auto, Vanguard, or Rearguard. When placed, Soul Blast 1. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck for Dragonic Blademaster and add it to your hand. And then shuffle your deck, and this unit gains 5,000 power. So this thing is good because A, you can ride it to potentially get a +1. He's going to gain a power boost regardless, and he gets a force marker. If I have to call him the rear guard, he still gains the 5k and still has the potential +1. So he's good as a backup or as a rear guard. Even after that turn, that first initial turn, he still sits at 13, so on the rear guard, he's still going to be hitting whatever he wants. Next, we got the Mac Daddy of the deck, Dragonic Blademaster. Alright, so Blademaster was always my favorite card in G-Era, and even in premium format. I still tried to find ways to use him. But when I saw him get announced for Standard, I lost my mind, and I was immediately in love with the card. So what this guy does is continuous. If your opponent has no rear guards, he gains 5,000 in a crit. That's already good because as soon as you ride him, if you're playing Kagero, your opponent's not going to commit too much to the board early. You ride him, he's already swinging for 2. The thing that people don't realize about that effect is that it's during either player's turn. So if for whatever reason my opponent can't establish a board state, he's just going to sit at 18. His second effect is where things get scary. Act. If I have Wyvern Strike Doa and Wyvern Strike Garen on the board, I can Soul Blast a grade 3 and discard 2 cards. He retires all of my opponent's rear guards and puts into play a Vision token to my rear guard. Now, a Vision token is this guy. It is a grade 3 token. And its effect is, while it's on the rear guard and it attacks, it performs Drive Check. Now, because it's a grade 3 token, it has Twin Drive, so it does 2. So his effect is a Soul Blast a grade 3, discard 2 cards, make a fake rear guard because it leaves at the end of turn, and now you get 4 Drive Checks. people knock this card because of the fact that you need a specific board setup, but in reality, you just need the one card because Doa searches Garen. So between the two cards, in reality, it's a Counterblast 1, a Soul Blast 1, and you ditch 2 cards to now have a 22k roll with a Guard Restrict, a 13 to 23k Vision Token if you put a Force Marker under it with Twin Drive, and an 18 plus Vanguard with a crit. That's also going to have Twin Drive. I mean, it sounds like it sucks needing the certain cards, but in reality, especially with how much draw power is in the deck, it's almost impossible to not get. The last card I got in here is Dragonic Waterfall. Now, a lot of people ask me why I still run Dragonic Waterfall and not the Great. First off, the Great requires a specific grade 2 to maximize, and this deck's already pretty tight on space. The only card I can really see myself getting rid of is Dragon Armor Knight, and maybe cutting a Berserk, but that's still very iffy for me. I like having 4 Berserk to always have the retire option and the highest chance of me getting to ride it. I also don't like that by itself Neoflame is a vanilla grade 2, or he's going to blow up my Counterblast to give the greater crit. Waterfall is just, he's self-contained. On ride, he retires a grade 2 or greater rear guard, and you can Soul Blast a grade 3 to give him 10k in the crit, and your opponent can't guard with Sentinels. It's just, he doesn't really cost much, because I'm going to keep, my whole goal of the deck is to keep riding grade 3. He retires for free, and he lets me save on resources, because I don't have to use any Counterblasts or any other Soul Blast, Soul cards, or anything but that. And like, too many Perfect Guards can slow down Blademaster, but Waterfall just laughs at him. I mean, if I had to pick between Waterfall and the Great against a Protect clan, I'm going to choose Waterfall, because they can still guard the Great. They can still guard his 4 attacks. They can't guard his 1. I mean, some people can work around it, but this is just my preference. But that's the deck. The deck primarily wants to use Force 1, because almost all the grade 3s give themselves an extra crit. So the extra power, along with all the guard restricts too, it's just, you could just punch them down the throat. Don't get me wrong, Force 2 is an option, but it's really specific. The only time I ever found myself using Force 2 was when my opponent was grade stuck and had to G-assist, and I got to see their entire hand. I was able to push them to 4 damage by the time they got to grade 3. And I rode Blademaster as my first grade 3, putting a Force 2 marker on one of my rear guards. So now he was swinging for 2, and so was the rear guard. Then the next turn, I rolled Waterfall and put another Force 2 marker on the other rear guard side. So again, I had three attacks with all Force 2. And then, I'm sorry, 3 attacks with all crits. And then I rode Bardich, pumped him up, and gave himself an extra crit with another Force 2 marker. So my opponent sat at 4 damage, and every single attack was lethal. But that's the deck. I hope you guys like the profile. This is my first Vanguard profile, but it most likely will not be my last. If you guys want to see gameplay or anything like that, please drop a like, comment, and of course subscribe for more content. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.